May, a month of remembrance, of reckoning, of winds shifting, both in the halls of power and across the troubled skies. As spring deepens, America finds itself at a series of crossroads. This is the story of a nation grappling with its past, its present, and the uncertain shape of its future. The echoes of history resonated powerfully. On May 8, 2025, President Donald Trump declared a national day of commemoration. 80 years, 8 decades since the guns fell silent in Europe, since Allied forces declared victory over Nazi Germany. VE Day, a day etched in the annals of sacrifice. This proclamation, well, it's more than just a date on a calendar, you know? It's a spotlight on America's role in that titanic struggle. A salute to the men and women who wore the uniform. No mandatory day off, no federal holiday, yet. But for the first time, an official national nod from the U.S. government. And the whispers have begun. Could this day of solemn remembrance one day join the ranks of permanent federal holidays? A question hanging in the air as a nation looks back. But while one part of the nation looked back, another braced for nature's immediate, terrifying wrath. The eastern seaboard, especially down in the southeast, Texas, Louisiana, and beyond, found itself right in the crosshairs of relentless, severe weather. Oh, the warnings went out, folks. Flash flood warnings everywhere. We're talking reports of 6 inches of rain already, just drowning communities, turning streets into raging rivers. The National Weather Service, a constant, urgent drumbeat of warnings. Flash floods, that terrifying sudden threat. Local authorities, voices strained. Stay informed, stay put if you possibly can. Emergency crews, stretched thin, battling the deluge, pulling people from the rising waters. It was the fluid, dangerous situation, with more storms just relentlessly marching right across the map. For so many down there, the only certainty was the sound of the rain and that desperate hope for it to just stop. Meanwhile, in the quiet of a courtroom, another kind of battle was waged. A federal judge stepped in, blocking an executive order from President Trump, an order aimed at cutting funds for vital cultural and educational lifelines. The National Endowment for the Arts, the National Endowment for the Humanities. Think libraries, museums, the very organizations that nurture minority-owned businesses and enrich underserved communities. For advocates, it was a moment of reprieve. These agencies aren't just line items, you see. They're the bedrock of cultural infrastructure. The court's injunction means the lights stay on, for now. But the fight? Far from over. The administration remains determined to redirect those funds, leaving the future of these cultural guardians in a precarious balance. So, all eyes on the Federal Reserve. The question on everyone's lips, would they, wouldn't they? In the end, they held firm. Interest rates unchanged, holding steady in that 4.25 to 4.50% range. A collective breath held by the markets. The Fed, led by Chairman Jerome Powell, watches the vital signs, inflation, jobs, like a hawk. There's talk of a slowdown. Shadows of uncertainty cast by ongoing trade policies. But for now, the word is caution. Resilience, yes, but rising costs are a growing concern. The Fed's tightrope walk continues. Keep the economy steady. Keep inflation from spiraling. A delicate, high-stakes dance. And then, from Vatican City, a sign awaited by over 1 billion souls. May 8th, 2025. White smoke, habemus papam. A new pope elected. The conclave, held in the profound secrecy of the Sistine Chapel, they had deliberated for 2 long days after Pope Francis passed away back in April. 133 cardinals, voices from every corner of the globe, casting their ballots, and the world just waited. Soon he'll step out onto that famed balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. A new name, a new voice, a new message. And oh, the challenges facing him are immense. From the clerical abuse scandals to navigating the turbulent waters of modern social issues, not to mention the Church's role in global diplomacy, peace, and human rights. The weight of the world, it seems, rests on the shoulders of this yet unnamed leader. The global chessboard saw another key move. On May 7th, President Trump tapped a familiar face for a critical role. Former Georgia Senator David Perdue, now the U.S. ambassador to China. Confirmed by the Senate, 67-29. And the timing? Well, that was crucial. U.S.-China relations, a landscape defined by trade wars, punishing tariffs, and a relentless strategic competition. One of the most critical diplomatic positions we have, the president declared. Perdue's mission: navigate this minefield, advance U.S. interests, try to untangle the knotted mess of trade disputes, and secure market access for American companies. Billions of dollars in goods hang in the balance. A monumental task, demanding a masterclass in diplomacy, against a backdrop of entrenched positions. Back on home soil, a deeply divisive issue reached a critical juncture. May 6, 2025. The U.S. Supreme Court gave the green light for the Trump administration's transgender military ban to be enforced. Executive Order 14183, prioritizing military excellence and readiness. In essence, it bars individuals whose gender identity doesn't match their sex at birth from serving. The administration argues, military readiness, unit cohesion, national security. Critics fire back. Discrimination, a violation of fundamental rights. The ACLU and other civil rights groups vow to keep fighting. The injunction lifted. The policy takes effect. But the legal battles, the human stories, the fundamental questions of identity and service, they continue, echoing through the courts and the conscience of the nation. The chill of the trade war with China deepened. President Trump unyielding. Those tariffs on Chinese imports, some soaring as high as a staggering 145%, they stay. No softening, not before this week's crucial talks led by the U.S. delegation. The markets shuddered. The real-world impact? U.S. ports reported a jaw-dropping 44% plunge in ship traffic. Supply chains groaning under the strain. China's response? Retaliation. Their own tariffs hitting U.S. goods at 125%, and a near-total halt on buying American agricultural products. And the ripples spread. Far away in Singapore, the United Overseas Bank hit pause on its financial guidance for 2025. Profits were stable, they said, but these trade disputes, these tariffs, they cast too long a shadow. A global standoff with no easy off-ramp. And across the pond, the Bank of England took a gamble. Interest rates cut by 0.25%, down to 4.25. Why? Weakening growth, stubborn inflation squeezing consumers and businesses alike in the UK. A move to jolt the economy, especially a stagnant housing market. But it wasn't unanimous, The Monetary Policy Committee divided. A sign of the sheer uncertainty clouding the global financial skies. Central banks everywhere grappling with the fallout from these trade wars. Those earlier predictions of multiple rate cuts scaled back. Now, the market's only betting on maybe 2 more for the rest of 2025. A cautious world watching and waiting. An era ends. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, the legendary investor, the face of Berkshire Hathaway for over 60 incredible years. He announced he's stepping down as CEO by the end of 2025. 94 years old, he built an empire, a testament to shrewd vision and unwavering principle. The reins passed to Vice Chairman Greg Abel, a Berkshire veteran since '92. Long groomed for this moment, a meticulously planned transition. Buffett won't disappear entirely, no, he'll stay on in an advisory role. His son, Howard, set to eventually become non-executive chairman. For shareholders, for the entire business world, it's a seismic shift. A new chapter begins, guided by Abel, built on Buffett's enduring legacy. Inside the vast Department of Health and Human Services, a massive shakeup is underway. The goal? Streamline, become more efficient. 28 divisions slashed to 15. 10 regional offices consolidated to 5. And the human cost? Around 10,000 layoffs, projected to save the government $1.8 billion annually. A new entity, the Administration for a Healthy America, will absorb agencies like the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, now under the CDC. But this sweeping reorganization hasn't gone unchallenged, you know. 19 states and the District of Columbia are suing, arguing HHS has overstepped, that these changes are unlawful. Efficiency versus legality, a battle playing out, with thousands of jobs and critical health services in the balance. A chilling public health alert. Measles, a new outbreak sweeping across the Southwest, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas. As of May 6, 2025, 831 confirmed cases, 3 lives lost. Health officials point to a familiar culprit, declining vaccination rates, leaving the vulnerable exposed. The cry goes out, get vaccinated. The CDC is on high alert, issuing advisories, scrambling to contain the spread of this highly contagious and preventable disease. A stark reminder of battles we thought were won. From HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a new initiative, a deep dive into autism and related conditions. The plan? Harness the power of big data, Medicare, Medicaid records, electronic health files, even data from wearable devices, to understand diagnosis, treatment, and access to care. The potential for breakthroughs is immense. Yet shadows of past controversies linger. Concerns that this initiative, given Kennedy's past, might inadvertently legitimize debunked theories linking vaccines to autism, potentially undermining vital public health messaging. A delicate path to tread, balancing innovation with the imperative to combat misinformation. The nation is poised to get a new top doctor. President Trump has nominated Dr. Casey Means as the next U.S. Surgeon General. A former surgeon, Dr. Means is a prominent voice for preventing chronic disease. A champion of metabolic health. She steps in after Dr. Jeanette Neshawat withdrew her name. Expect a focus on wellness, on stopping illness before it starts. A personalized approach to healthcare. A strategic choice, signaling a shift in how America might tackle its most pressing public health challenges. The race for tomorrow is on. Artificial intelligence. The United States is gearing up, determined to lead. Michael Kratsios, from the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, is architecting a sweeping national AI strategy, due mid-2025. The price tag? A staggering $500 billion in investment for research and development, targeting healthcare, education, national defense. This isn't just about innovation. It's about global competition, particularly with China rapidly advancing its own AI capabilities. The goal, Kratsios says, is to harness AI's power for all, while tackling the thorny ethical questions: job displacement, algorithmic bias, a high-stakes endeavor to shape the future. But even as America plans its AI dominance, a worrying trend emerges: a quiet exodus. A 41% surge in American AI researchers looking for work abroad. Canada, a prime destination. The reasons? Restrictive immigration policies, cuts to federal science funding. The very minds needed to fuel America's AI ambitions are looking elsewhere. Experts sound the alarm. This brain drain could cripple the U.S.'s competitive edge, not just in AI, but in healthcare, in national security. A stark warning: without change, America risks losing its brightest to nations offering a more welcoming hand. Yet, innovation continues to shine. The National Medal of Technology and Innovation for 2024 celebrated true visionaries. Martin Cooper, the father of the handheld mobile phone, the device that put the world in our pockets. Jennifer Doudna, whose pioneering work with CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing is revolutionizing medicine. And Moderna, recognized for the lightning-fast development of mRNA vaccines, a critical weapon against the COVID-19 pandemic. Proof that the American spirit of invention endures. The future of shopping is here, folks, and it's at Sam's Club. All 600 U.S. locations are rolling out AI-driven checkout. Scan and go. Use the app, scan your items as you shop, and just walk out. No lines, no manual receipt checks. AI validates your purchase seamlessly. It's about speed, convenience, and a frictionless experience. A bold move, setting a new retail standard and signaling AI's deeper march into our daily lives. Gamers, mark your calendars. June 5th, 2025, the Nintendo Switch 2 arrives. Building on its predecessor's massive success, it promises better graphics, more power, new ways to play. Pre-orders are through the roof. The Mario Kart World Edition? Already sold out. The price: $449.99 for the base console. Special editions at $499.99. Nintendo's betting big, projecting 15 million units sold globally by March 2026. Despite global jitters and manufacturing challenges, the gaming giant is confident. The game is on. From the pinnacle of music and business to a federal courtroom. Sean Diddy Combs, early May 2025, the start of his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. The allegations: a dark, long-running criminal enterprise woven through bad boy records, sex trafficking, sexual abuse, a litany of illicit activities. Prosecutors paint a grim picture. Combs running his empire like a syndicate, exploiting young women lured by dreams of stardom. Key witnesses, accusers, are set to testify. Combs pleads not guilty, maintaining his innocence. The trial, expected to last weeks, threatens to expose a hidden, sordid world. If convicted, life in prison. A precipitous fall for a music icon. And then there's Kanye, a new song, Heil Hitler. The title alone, a shockwave. The lyrics, deeply offensive, reportedly targeting his ex-wife Kim Kardashian. Outrage, swift and severe, across social media, throughout the industry. The music video, laden with disturbing imagery, including individuals seemingly admiring Hitler. West claims it's a product of personal frustrations, custody battles, frozen assets. But for many, it's another deeply troubling chapter, following his infamous anti-Semitic tirades in 2022 that cost him dearly. Condemnation rains down. The calls for accountability grow louder, a storm of his own making, once again engulfing the controversial artist. On a brighter, more dazzling note, the Met Gala, May 5th. The theme, superfine, tailoring black style, a celebration of black dandyism, that historic movement of self-expression individuality, defiance, honoring centuries of Black influence on fashion, co-chaired by the Titans, Anna Wintour, Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton, Pharrell Williams. The red carpet, a breathtaking canvas. Celebrities like Rihanna, Laura Harrier, Lorde, each interpreting the theme with bold, personal statements. From high fashion to streetwear, a vibrant narrative connecting history to modern Black culture, showcasing the enduring power and global impact of Black style. Rihanna making power moves beyond the red carpet. Fenty Beauty, her game-changing brand, announced a groundbreaking partnership with the WNBA's New York Liberty, Fenty's first official sports sponsorship. You'll see the Fenty logo on the Liberty's warm-up gear, exclusive product activations at games. Rihanna praising the Liberty for embodying the strength and beauty Fenty stands for. More than sponsorship, it's a statement. Beauty, sports, empowerment, all intersecting, challenging norms and reaching new fans. A slam dunk for both brands. Get ready for music's biggest fan-voted night. Jennifer Lopez will host the 2025 American Music Awards, May 26th, live from Las Vegas. The nominations are out, and the buzz is real. Kendrick Lamar leading the pack with a massive 10 nods. Post Malone right behind with 8. Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan, Shabuzi each scoring 7, with categories like Collaboration of the Year and Social Song of the Year. The fans truly call the shots. Expect a night of unforgettable performances and diverse talent, taking the global stage. And the sports world delivered pure adrenaline. The New York Knicks, down 16 in the fourth, roared back to stun the Boston Celtics 91-90. Jalen Brunson clutch with 17 points, including the game-winning free throws. Mikal Bridges, all 14 of his points in that explosive fourth. Josh Hart, a monster 23. Karl Anthony Towns, a double-double beast with 21 and 17 boards. Knicks take a 2-zip series lead. NHL playoffs. Mikko Rantanen of the Dallas Stars unleashed a natural hat trick in the second period against the Winnipeg Jets. First player in NHL history with consecutive playoff hat tricks. Stars cruise to a 6-2 series opening win. Baseball. The New York Yankees no-hit by Padres pitcher Dylan Cease for most of the game, but they never quit. Battled back to win it 4-3 in 10 innings. Rookie J.C. Esquera, the hero, with a walk-off sacrifice fly. Bronx Bombers showing that grit. NFL Draft. Shedeur Sanders, son of legend Deion Sanders, after lighting up Colorado, is heading to the Cleveland Browns. Selected 144th overall in the 5th round. The Browns see massive potential. College hoops. The Arizona Wildcats are loading up. Secured a top recruiting class for 2025. And the headliner? Bryce James, son of LeBron. That's right. The Wildcats are aiming for a national championship. And this class, led by young James, is set to make some serious noise in Tucson. So, commemorations and condemnations, innovations and anxieties, victories on the court, and battles still being waged in courtrooms and capitals. May 2025. A nation in motion. Its story unfolding, one dramatic chapter at a time. What comes next remains to be written.